Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a book that truly changed the game for millions of people. Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking. It's an absolute classic on how to reshape your reality. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were your own worst enemy? Like your own worries and that little voice of self-doubt were the only things really holding you back from your goals? If that sounds familiar, you're going to want to stick around. See, this book isn't just some dusty old philosophy text. Peale presented it as a user's manual for your brain, a practical, step-by-step guide to completely rewiring the way you think. So what's the big idea? It's actually pretty simple, but it is huge. The entire philosophy rests on this one powerful idea. Your thoughts don't just comment on your life, they are the architects of your life. In other words, if you can change your thoughts, you can literally change your world. And who was the guy behind all this? Norman Vincent Peale. He was a Christian minister and an incredible motivational speaker. When he published this book way back in 1952, his message of hope was, well, it was revolutionary. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. He definitely got some heat for mixing psychology with religious faith, which was a pretty bold move at the time. All right, let's get into the good stuff. We're going to break down his wisdom into 5 core lessons. This is where the theory really becomes practice. Okay, lesson number 1. And honestly, this is the big one. This is the one that everything else is built on. It is all about believing in yourself. Seriously, Peale argues that genuine confidence isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. Nope, it's the absolute foundation. It's the concrete you have to pour before you can build anything. Without it, the whole structure just collapses. And you can see how this works in real life, can't you? Just think about a student facing a big exam. The one who walks in thinking, I've got this, is already miles ahead of the student who's just paralyzed by doubt. That belief, or the lack of it, directly fuels their performance. So that leads us right into the second lesson, which is all about the engine that drives this entire process. And it's captured perfectly in what is probably his most famous quote. The idea is that the little voice in your head, that internal chatter, it's not just background noise. It's literally drawing the blueprints for your life. Negative thinking closes doors, while positive thinking opens up doors you didn't even know existed. Next up, lesson number 3. And this one tackles something we all struggle with. It's the destructive habit of worry. Peale saw worry as this corrosive thing that eats away at you. It doesn't solve any problems, does it? It just sucks all the energy out of you, leaving you with nothing left to actually face them. His guide is all about how to break that cycle. So how do you do that? Well, he gives you a few tools for the toolbox. For him, faith was huge, but he also talked about really practical stuff, like repeating calming affirmations to reset your focus, or, and this is a big one, actively visualizing success instead of picturing failure. It's all about taking control of where your mind goes. So once you start getting a handle on that worry, what happens next? Well, that brings us to the 4th principle. It's a simple equation. A peaceful mind equals a productive life. Peale's argument is that being calm isn't about being lazy or zoned out. It's your peak performance state. You know, a business person who takes just 10 minutes of silence to think clearly is going to make way better decisions than someone who's frantic and stressed out. And finally, we've got the 5th lesson. This is the one that really puts everything into motion, and it teaches you to expect the best. Now, this isn't about blind optimism or pretending problems don't exist. It's about cultivating a genuine, deep-down expectation of good things happening. Peale believed that when you truly expect to succeed, you start to attract the people and opportunities that make it happen. Okay, so that's the core philosophy. But to give you a balanced view, it's really important to look at both the incredible promise of this idea and some of the common criticisms it's faced. The promise is incredibly powerful, that you can reshape your world with faith and optimism. But, and this is a big but, the reality, as many critics point out, is that positive thinking is most powerful when you pair it with concrete action. Thinking positive thoughts is the fuel, but you still have to get in the car and drive. So, with that in mind, how can you start actually applying these ideas? Like, today. Let's shift from the theory to some simple, practical things you can start doing right away. Here are 4 daily habits to get you going. 1. Kickstart your morning with just one positive statement. 2. Every night, write down 3 things you are grateful for that day. 3. When you catch a negative thought, Actively swap it out for a positive one. And 4, just take 5 to 10 minutes of silence to let your mind reset. And the real key here is just consistency. This isn't about some massive overnight change. It's about the power of small daily habits. Think of it like building a muscle. Those little actions every day are what build a truly resilient and positive mindset over time. Which brings us right back to that central idea. If it's true that your thoughts have the power to shape your world, well, that makes you the architect. So the real question is, what are you going to decide to build today?